G'day and welcome to this edition of the COLAC Herald Sports Smash, finals edition of the COLAC Herald Sports Smash. I'm Lachlan, Cowlishaw, beside me is Ben Martin. How's it going, Ben?
Well, thanks a lot.
We are going to cross live to Central Reserve, where we are actually, to take you through all the footy and netball scores from the qualifying and the elimination finals now. So without much further ado, let's cross to Ben at Central Reserve.
Thanks, Lock. Straight into the football news now. We'll start off with the senior footy, the big stuff, kicking off with the qualifying final, which was at Western Oval on Saturday. Colac Imperials defeated Apollo Bay in a pretty one-sided affair. A couple of one-sided games to kick off the senior football final. So the Imperials won this match 13-20-98 to 5-35 at Western Oval, as I said. Tyson Finnegan kicked 3 goals for the winners, while Adrian Murray, Sean O'Neill and Andrew Scott were the best for Apollo Bay. They had multiple players who kicked 1 goal, while Dean Sheets, Marty White and Lahiki were the Bay's best. In the elimination final, which was here at Central Reserve yesterday, South Colac 14-6-90 defeated the Western Eagles 3-8-26. So the Eagles' finals run is over, unfortunately, for Mark Carson and his men. Joel Menzies kicked 3 goals for the Roos, while Dion Oborn, Jordan Foley and Ryan Midley were the Roos' best. For the Western Eagles, Jake Reed kicked 3 goals, all 3 goals I should say, in a best on ground performance, while Andrew Hodgson and Tyson Stott, the skipper, were also good for the Eagles. So this weekend, ladder leader Lorne will take on Colac Imperials, while Apollo Bay will face South Colac in a elimination final there. In the reserves finals now, the qualifying final on Saturday, Colac Imperials 8-6-54 defeated Forest 5-8-38 at Western Oval. Locke Ellis, the league's leading goal kicker, kicked 5 goals, while Reece Tillich, Paul Finn and David Higgins were the Imps' best. For Forest, David Tucker kicked 2 goals before coming off with injury. Jackson Smith, David Moore and Nick Redmond were the Lions' best. And in the elimination final here yesterday, Simpson 7-9-51 defeated Birregurra 1-1-7. Jeff Van Dyke kicked 3 goals for the Tigers, while their best players were Daniel Mason, Drew Corderpool and Dave Wheel, so a couple of senior experienced players there for the Tigers. For Birregurra, Stephen Robb was their only goal kicker, while Peter Bryan, Simon Hill and Aidan Cousins were the Saints' best. So this weekend in the reserves, we've got Lorne taking on Colac Imperials, followed up by Forest taking on Simpson on Sunday. In the under 17.5 finals now, the qualifying final at Western Oval on Saturday. Albion defeated South Colac 6-11-47 to 5-6-36. Liam Williamson and James Mulherron each kicked 2 goals for the winning Swans, while Ben McCarthy, Nick Underwater and Tyler Manane were their best. For South Colac, the Roos had multiple single goal kickers, while Lockie Carrashay, Tom McKean and Brock Buchanan were their best. And in the elimination final here yesterday, Illawarra Bear kept its finals hopes alive with a win against Simpson 8-8-56 to 1-5-11 at Central Reserve. Sam Barry kicked 4 goals for the Bombers, while their best players were Matt Cirillo, Tyler Buchanan and Lockie Theodore. For Simpson, Dennis O'Shannessy was their only goal kicker, while Ash Royal, Grady Rook and Jared Donhoven were their best. So this weekend, later Birregurra will take on Alvey and South Colac will return on Sunday to take on Illawarra Biak. Under 14.5 now to finish off the CDFL finals football. In the qualifying final, Colac Imperials defeated Lorne 8-10-58 to 5-11-31 at Western Oval. Colac Imperials, Bailey Scott and Reece Hayes both kicked 2 goals, while Cooper Stevens, Jordan O'Dwyer and Riley Edge were their best players. For Lorne, Caleb Wilson Crosby 3 goals, while Oscar Coots, Alex Umbers and Regan Dwyer were the Dolphins' best. And finally, in the elimination final at Central Reserve yesterday, Alvey defeated Apollo Bay 8-9-57 to 5-2-32. So Apollo Bay's finals are over, unfortunately. Lockie Ward kicked 2 goals and Charlie Johns kicked 2 goals for the Swans, while Lee Gorwell, Mackenzie Haggard and Keenan Hickey were the Swans' best. And finally for Apollo Bay, Tristan Smith kicked 4 goals in a best on ground performance, while other good players for the Hawks were Jack Doherty, Patrick Armstrong and Horace Matthews. So this weekend in the under 14.5 finals, minor premier South Colac takes on Colac Imperials, followed up by Lorne taking on Alvey on the Sunday. And to finish things up before I pass back to Locke, we're just going to go through the Colac Tigers results, who had a very big win against Bell Park at Central Reserve on Saturday. They defeated the Dragons 18-13, 121 to 10-13, 73 to keep their final hopes alive. Jake McGuan kicked 5 goals in a best on ground performance, and it really sets up a massive match against South Barwon at South Barwon this weekend. Finals chances on the line for Paul Lynch and his men, so all the best to the Tigers. And Locke, I'll pass it back to you with the netball.
Thank you, Ben. I'm over here at the Colac Central Reserve netball courts, and they are just looking a treat this morning after elimination finals here yesterday. Let's get stuck into the Colac District netball finals results now. In the A grade, the qualifying finals at Western Eagles, the South Colac took on Illawarra Biak. The Roos got a valuable win, probably as expected. They won 54-38 in the end. Tegan McNamara scored 30 goals. Taylor Leeson had 25 goals for the Bombers, while the best players were Chelsea Spears and Jacqueline Cardinal for their respective teams. In the elimination elimination final here yesterday, the Eagles got the job done against Apollo Bay. They won 42-35, a pretty comfortable win in the end. Sarah Anderson had 27 goals for the Eagles, Jenny Fish had 15. Laura Taylor scored 19 goals for Apollo Bay. She came back from injury and played well. Carly Monaghan was the Eagles' best player, and Kath Spears, the coach, was Apollo Bay's best player. So that means South Colac will take on top of the table Colac Imperials next week in the semi-final, while the other semi-final will be between Illawarra Biak and Western Eagles, and those teams trying to keep their season alive. Into the B grade finals now. The qualifying final first. South Colac defeated the Western Eagles 38-33. Cassie Carachet had 29 goals for the Roos. Kelly Hickey had 21 for the Eagles. Stacey McNamara was South Colac's best player, and Lorraine Marnie was the Eagles' best player. In the elimination final here yesterday, Illawarra Biak had a comfortable win against Otway Districts and ended the Demons season. They won 34-23. Brittany Maloney scored 21 goals. Olivia Patch had 20 for the Demons. Holly Tester was the Bombers' best player, and Jane Russell was Otway District's best player. So that means South Colac again plays Colac Imperials in the semi-final next week, while Western Eagles takes on Illawarra Biak. Exactly the same as A grade, just trying to keep their seasons alive. Into the C grade now, Otway Districts took on Simpson in the qualifying final, and they got a comfortable win, 42 to 29. So it was sort of that way on Saturday. The games are sort of a little bit one-sided, and in the elimination final, Illawarra Biak took on South Colac, but the Roos defeated Illawarra Biak 22-15. Josie Downard had 13 goals for South Colac in very wet and windy conditions. So Otway Districts takes on Colac Imperials in a semi-final. Colac Imperials, of course, finished top in A, B and C grade, and Simpson plays South Colac in the other semi-final this weekend. In the 17 and unders now, Colac Imperials took on Illawarra Biak. It was a very close fight in this qualifying final. 31-28 was the final score. Alyssa Whedon, 20 goals. Kendra Miller, 11 goals for the Imps, while for Illawarra Biak, Ellie Flanagan had 22 goals. Shot very accurately throughout the match. Rhiannon Whitson and Bianca Whitson were some of the Imperials' best players, while Ebony Reynolds got Illawarra Biak's best player votes. In the elimination final here yesterday, Otway Districts got the job done against Elvie. Came in as the underdog, but they fought their way through, as I said, a rain-affected Sunday match, and they won 26-24. Tarly McMurray had 15 goals for the Demons. Mercedes Hickeys had 13 for Elvie. Taylor Edwards was Otway District's best player, and Mercedes was Elvie's best player. Colac Imperials play South Colac in a under 17 semi-final this week, while Illawarra Biak takes on Otway Districts. And just finally now in the 15s and the 13s, the qualifying final results. Otway Districts defeated Elvie 43-28 in the 15s. In the 13s, South Colac had a comfortable win against Otway Districts 50-18, and in the elimination finals, Illawarra Biak defeated Colac Imperials 26-18, and Elvie defeated Birregurra in a thriller 34-33. And to wrap up the GFL netball now that was played here on Saturday, the Tigers took on Bell Park, and they got a one-goal win, 39-38 in the end. It was a bit of a hectic finish to the match, but the Tigers managed to hold on. They'd established a lead throughout the match and got the points in the end. Probably one of their biggest scalps of the season. Some of the better players were Chelsea Hillman and Shelley Scott, while Rachel Roger, the ex-Illawarra Biak Premiership player, was a star for Bell Park. Let's cross back to Ben and I now to wrap up the show, and we'll give you the COLAC Herald Sportsman of the Week.
Thanks for that, Loch. We're back here in the COLAC Herald studio just in time for our favourite part of the show. Loch, what is it?
It's the COLAC Herald Sportsman of the Week, and this week we're going to give it to a sports team. I might take this one over, Ben, if you don't mind. It's the 17 and under Otway Districts netballers. They went in as the underdog of underdogs against Elvie, and they got the win. They won 26-24, coached by Kelly Edwards, who of course we know well, and she's had the knee operation, so she was coaching from the sidelines. But that is a fantastic win by the Demons girls, and hopefully they can push on into finals a little bit further this week. And that wraps it up from Ben and I for this edition of the Finals Sports Mash. Make sure you tune in next week as we go through all the semi-final action from that weekend. From us, see you later.
See ya.